Effective preparation involves several key areas. Firstly, identifying appropriate study resources with explanations. Secondly, understanding the test structure. Thirdly, identifying your strengths and weaknesses. Fourthly, consistent practice. Fifthly, collaborative study. Sixthly, time management. And seventhly, adopting specific strategies for different sections of the exam. For study resources with explanations, consider the Kaplan National Library of Civil Service Tests, which provides detailed explanations for the practice questions. Another option is the Testmasters SCA exam preparation course, an online course that includes comprehensive study materials, practice tests, and explanations for each answer. Although not specifically designed for this particular civil service test, the Manhattan Prep GMAT Complete Strategy Guide set provides excellent explanations and strategies for solving logical reasoning and critical thinking questions, skills crucial for this exam. To effectively prepare, break down the test structure by familiarizing yourself with the different sections of the exam and allocating your study time accordingly. This ensures you cover all the areas and don't neglect any specific topics. Identify your strengths and weaknesses by taking practice tests to assess your strengths and areas where you need improvement. Focus your studies on the sections where you need more practice. For example, if you struggle with mathematics, dedicate more time to reviewing math concepts and practicing related problems. Consistent practice is key to success. Set aside dedicated study time each day or week and stick to your schedule as much as possible. Regular practice helps reinforce your understanding and improves your speed and accuracy. Study in groups by collaborating with friends or colleagues who are also preparing for the exam. Discuss concepts, share tips, and quiz each other. Studying in a group can provide different perspectives and help you identify areas you may have overlooked. Manage your time effectively during the exam. Practice taking timed practice tests to simulate the actual testing environment. This will help you get used to the time constraints and develop strategies for pacing yourself. Specific strategies for different sections are vital. For logical reasoning, focus on understanding the argument structure and identifying the premises and conclusions. Use deductive and inductive reasoning to arrive at the correct answer. Practice identifying common logical fallacies to avoid being misled by incorrect answer choices. For critical thinking, analyze the information presented and draw inferences based on logical reasoning. Consider different perspectives and evaluate the validity of arguments. Practice evaluating assumptions and identifying potential biases. For mathematics, review basic math concepts and practice applying them to solve problems in the areas of algebra, geometry, and statistics. Familiarize yourself with common formulas and techniques for solving different types of math problems. For reading comprehension, read carefully and identify the main ideas and supporting details. Use active reading techniques such as highlighting key points and summarizing paragraphs to improve your understanding. Practice identifying the author's purpose and tone. For writing ability, practice writing clear and concise sentences and paragraphs. Focus on structure, grammar, and mechanics. Practice writing different types of essays, such as argumentative and persuasive essays. In terms of specific test-taking strategies, consider these points. Firstly, read each question carefully and make sure you understand what is being asked before attempting to answer it. Secondly, eliminate obviously incorrect answer choices to narrow down your options. Thirdly, if you are unsure of the answer, make an educated guess rather than leaving the question blank. Fourthly, manage your time effectively by allocating a certain amount of time to each section and sticking to your schedule. Fifthly, review your answers if you have time left at the end of the exam. In terms of preparing for the logical reasoning section, it's important to understand the basic structure of an argument. An argument consists of premises, which are statements that provide evidence or reasons, and a conclusion, which is the statement that is being supported by the premises. The goal of logical reasoning questions is to evaluate the strength of the argument and determine whether the conclusion logically follows from the premises. There are several common types of logical reasoning questions, including deduction, induction, and analogy. Deductive reasoning involves drawing a conclusion that is guaranteed to be true if the premises are true. Inductive reasoning involves drawing a conclusion that is likely to be true based on the evidence presented. Analogy involves identifying similarities between two different things or situations. To improve your logical reasoning skills, practice identifying the premises and conclusions of arguments, evaluating the strength of the evidence, and identifying common logical fallacies. In terms of preparing for the critical thinking section, it's important to be able to analyze information and draw inferences based on logical reasoning. Critical thinking questions often present you with a passage of text and ask you to evaluate the arguments presented, identify assumptions, and draw conclusions. To improve your critical thinking skills, practice reading critically, evaluating arguments, and identifying assumptions. Look for potential biases or flaws in the reasoning. Consider different perspectives and evaluate the validity of arguments. In terms of preparing for the mathematics section, it's important to review basic math concepts and practice applying them to solve problems. The math section may cover topics such as algebra, geometry, statistics, and data analysis. To improve your math skills, review basic math concepts, practice solving problems, and familiarize yourself with common formulas and techniques. Pay attention to units of measurement and make sure you understand how to convert between different units. In terms of preparing for the reading comprehension section, it's important to read carefully and identify the main ideas and supporting details. Reading comprehension questions often present you with a passage of text and ask you to answer questions about the content of the passage. To improve your reading comprehension skills, practice reading actively, highlighting key points, and summarizing paragraphs. Pay attention to the author's purpose and tone. In terms of preparing for the writing ability section, it's important to practice writing clear and concise sentences and paragraphs. The writing section may ask you to write an essay or respond to a prompt. To improve your writing skills, practice writing regularly, focusing on structure, grammar, and mechanics. Pay attention to clarity and conciseness. Proofread your work carefully to catch any errors. Consider seeking feedback from others to improve your writing. Remember that effective test preparation involves a combination of understanding the test structure, identifying your strengths and weaknesses, consistent practice, collaborative study, time management, and adopting specific strategies for different sections of the exam. By following these tips and strategies, you can increase your chances of success. Furthermore, explore additional resources beyond the recommended books and courses. Many websites and online platforms offer practice tests, study guides, and tutorials for civil service exams. Look for resources that provide detailed explanations for the answers, so you can understand why you got a question right or wrong. Consider joining online forums or study groups where you can connect with other test takers and share tips and strategies. Actively participate in discussions and ask questions to clarify any concepts you are unsure about. Don't underestimate the importance of self-care during the test preparation process. Make sure you get enough sleep, eat a healthy diet, and exercise regularly. Avoid cramming the night before the exam, as this can increase stress and anxiety. Instead, focus on reviewing key concepts and getting a good night's sleep. On the day of the exam, arrive early to avoid feeling rushed. Bring all necessary materials, such as identification and pencils. Read the instructions carefully before starting the exam. Pace yourself and manage your time effectively. If you encounter a difficult question, don't spend too much time on it. Move on to the next question and come back to it later if you have time. Stay calm and focused throughout the exam. Remember that you have prepared well and you are capable of succeeding. If you find yourself feeling anxious or stressed, take a few deep breaths and try to relax. Focus on the task at hand and trust in your abilities. After the exam, take some time to relax and distress. Don't dwell on the questions you missed or the mistakes you made. Instead, focus on what you learned and how you can improve in the future. Whether you pass or fail the exam, view it as a learning experience. Use the feedback you receive to identify areas where you need to improve and continue to develop your skills and knowledge. Remember that success is not always immediate. It may take time and effort to achieve your goals. Don't give up on your dreams. Keep working hard and stay focused on your goals. With perseverance and determination, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Good luck with your test preparation and your future career. Lastly, think about simulating test conditions. This means finding a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Set a timer for the same length of time as the actual test. Only use the materials that you are allowed to use during the actual test. Doing this will help you get used to the pressure of the test environment and help you identify any areas where you need to improve your time management skills. It is very important to understand how to read the questions being asked and what they actually mean. Many of these tests will have questions designed to trick you into selecting the incorrect answer. Take your time and carefully read the questions. If you do not understand the question, ask for clarification. It is better to take a few extra minutes to understand the question than to answer it incorrectly. Make sure you are well rested and have eaten a healthy meal before taking the test. This will help you to focus and concentrate during the test. If you are feeling anxious or stressed, take a few deep breaths and relax. Visualize yourself succeeding on the test. Stay positive and believe in yourself. You have prepared for this test and you are ready to do your best.